What is something that doesn't seem dangerous but actually is dangerous? Getting rid of a computer without thoroughly wiping the hard drive. I bought many a yard or garage sale computer and hard drive, and most had anything from financial information to photos to documents. If you don't care to bother erasing them, at least salvage a hard drive's rare earth magnets and destroy the platters. Software is readily available that enables you to reconstruct files and folders even if they've been deleted. That's why you run a drill through the hard drive in 3 different spots. Small campfires. A tree root can burn for weeks without anyone knowing, then it can spread. Embers can travel for miles before they extinguish. River rocks can have pockets of water in them and can explode when heated. I have made this mistake myself and got lucky. Always make sure your campfire is cold when you leave it. If you can't hold your hand on the ground, and I mean touching the dirt, for 15 seconds without feeling any heat, you haven't done enough. Also, in most states it is illegal to have a fire in national parks without having a shovel with you. Just a heads up. Driving. If you know what you're doing and are paying attention, it's easy, but one little mistake can result in injury or even death. A lot of people don't seem to care about small wounds and don't take care of them well. You do not want to get an infection. Those things are very bad and can also be very dangerous. Bear with me, but getting into fights. I know everyone knows you can get hurt, but humans are randomly very fragile and a punch to the side of the head can do more than give your opponent a headache. Without even trying, you can flat out kill someone, or you can trip and bash your head, etc. Too many people watch fight videos or live in violent cultures, think it's not a big deal, and completely misunderstand the risk you take getting into fights, or worse, the risk you pose to others. Knew of a woman in high school that legally killed someone at her job. It was ruled an accident, so she wasn't charged with anything serious. Kayaking in cold water. My old kayaking buddy used to go out in water in the 40s with no gear until I explained to him how he was going to get himself killed. I flipped one in a Scottish loch on a field trip. You absolutely do not think straight. I was clinging to someone's kayak for dear life without realizing I had a freaking life vest on. Also, Scottish lochs are cold. I'm pretty sure Nessie just froze solid at one point and nobody has gone down there with a heater. Drinking sparkling clear rainwater out of a ditch while playing Adventure Man. You will shite and vomit out your own intestines for the next 2 days. Yep, those parasites are a bee. Gotta boil it. Food poisoning. A lot of people think they got a stomach flu and don't think anything else about it. Think again. CDC estimates that each year roughly 1 in 6 Americans, or 48 million people, get sick. 128,000 are hospitalized, and 3,000 die of foodborne diseases. It took my mom almost a week to take me in when I had a stomach flu as a kid. They were pretty sure it was food poisoning, so they gave me meds right away. Still ran a test. It wasn't until the antibiotics kicked in and I was on the mend that they got my test back and I had E. coli. It was definitely an experience like no other and I wish it on no one. Colonoscopy prep was easier. Gas expansion. I work in a lab, and anytime you have a gas cylinder or liquid nitrogen in a small room, it's pretty dangerous. Even though the gas itself isn't toxic, displacing all the air can, and has, caused people to die. Oh man, I had a jar of liquid nitrogen in the back of my car once. Took a hard turn and it tipped over and spilled. I was on a country road with a car behind me and I had no place to stop or pull over for what seemed like forever. I started feeling drowsy and confused surprisingly quickly. Thankfully I finally remembered to put down all my windows, but that was a close one. Tiled stairs. Not wood stairs, not carpeted stairs. Tiled stairs. One slip and you're either bruising your spine or cracking your head open. I fell once, had a large bruise line down my back from sliding down sharp, tiled stairs. It hurt so bad. What misanthrope invented something so dangerous? Drinking a lot. This only becomes dangerous after an incredibly large amount, but there is a thing such as overhydrating. Stress. It can ruin your health. In particular the stress that you create in your head. Anxiety, depression, or a host of things. Too many to even list really. Take care of yourself. You are a person too. You deserve to do you for you. Agreed, it's sad how stress is so normalized now. Kangaroos. Most tourists only ever see tame grey kangaroos that are used to humans and petting zoos. You don't want to be anywhere near a wild big red kangaroo that can stand over 6 feet tall and disembowel you with one kick. While playing chasey tag on a school camp in year 7, a friend of mine ran and jumped under the railing of this veranda. Didn't realize that there was a fully grown red kangaroo was standing about 1.5 meters to her left. Luckily it didn't feel threatened, maybe is used to people being in the area, but it was one of her 2 near-death experiences that week. Sleeping on the ground. When exposure and hypothermia are the causes of death in the middle of summer, the land literally killed them. You need body heat to stay alive. The ground gobbles up your body heat because it's a massive heat sink. Mixing meds or drugs and even supplements. Xanax is way more fun with booze, but it'll kill you. Some supplements like 5-HTP or St. John's wort mixed with 3 will kill you. Enzymes in grapefruit act a lot like an MAOI. Makes opioids more fun but more deadly. Activated charcoal can help an upset stomach but also will cancel any meds you took. This means birth control won't work and you can now get pregnant. So to answer, something from Walmart and Amazon mixed will kill you. Fruit juice mixed with painkillers can kill you. OJ with shrooms makes it harder, so don't mix if you are already having a bad time. Something a doctor gave you and a friend legally uses with minimal effects daily will kill you. Always find interactions online and test your dope. Finally, some OTC supplements contain addictive or even illegal ingredients, so be careful what you buy. And B complex can turn your pee neon yellow. Pig. If the hog haven't eaten food for at least 1 day, it will eat you. So yay. Pigs are dangerous when they are hungry, no matter how cute they can be. The place I live was fairly rural 30 years ago. People would have farm animals, chicken, pigs, that would walk free in their properties. I always heard of the story of a pig that got inside of the house where a baby was in a bassinet and the pig ate the baby's fingers and earlobes. So yeah, I don't care for pigs. Freaking trampolines. My brother is in a doc and said some of the absolute most gruesome things he has seen involved trampoline accidents. He actually urges everyone he knows not to buy one for their kids. As someone who used to work in an and saw a man come in partially scalped after getting his hair caught in the trampoline springs, I will never get on another trampoline. Ladders. Sounds like a joke, but I recently bought a new ladder and it was covered in warning labels, molded into the plastic parts, stamped into the metal, tags hanging from it, and stickers. So many danger, death warning stickers. I dang near left it in Home Depot and just live with overflowing gutters. You know, studies show that keeping a ladder in the house is more dangerous than a loaded gun. That's why I own 10 guns, in case some maniac tries to sneak in a ladder. I'm coming in straight from a thread showing a video with a cyclist driving like a jackass and getting hit by a car. I feel like commute by bike seems like a great idea, and the health benefits probably are considerable, but dang, do I like putting a chunk of metal and plastic between me and motor vehicles. Lifelong cyclist, but I more or less quit doing it in a couple of cities I've lived in, including my current one. The flu. So many of us are desensitized to the flu. It's just a bad cold we all get once every 1-3 years. No big deal. I was once bedridden for a week, had trouble breathing, and couldn't walk up the street without sitting down, all because of the simple flu. It's actually insane how out of control it can get. If you're a random unlucky person, it can be especially dangerous too. This. So much. Plain old influenza kills even the healthiest sometimes. Underestimating OTC medication interactions. I can't remember what the other medication was, but I was talking on the phone with my mom a few years ago when she had a bad flu. She had mentioned taking Robitussin and talked about hallucinating airplanes flying in her house. I stressed to her that that wasn't just a harmless thing, and she later told me she looked up and found that the med she was taking had a potentially fatal interaction with Robitussin. Spelunking cave exploration, and in that same category, urban exploring. Sure, the cave might have some neat stuff. Maybe you found an old grain elevator, or a mine and you want to get some nice pictures. Carbon monoxide pockets can quickly kill. Stepping not right can injure you and leave you stuck. Smoking or toking in an abandoned place can lead to a fire or explosion. Getting stuck in a cave tunnel that is too tight and underground will most likely lead to you dying and not being found. There are just so many things that can go wrong so fast and with little warning. Always travel and explore with experienced guides. Learn about where you are going to go, and always have a travel plan and let people know where you are intending on exploring, and when you should be back. That poor guy who died after being stuck upside down in the Nutty Putty cave in Utah, horrible. Cone snail. Not much bigger than your thumb but can kill you quite quickly and painfully, and there is no end to venom. Went diving in Hawaii and found a live one. I knew what it was right when I saw it. Placed it in a dive bag it couldn't get through and took it home. Others might not be so knowledgeable and held it or put it close to their body. I always wonder when I see people pick up colorful small creatures they found at the beach. Oh, look at what I found. Irukandji jellyfish are the size of your finger and can kill you. Water. Can't find any, you'll die. Drink too much, you'll die. Although you'd have to drink a ridiculous amount. Flooding. You can die. Fast currents. Dead. Go too deep. Pressure will kill you. Go deep and rise too fast. You'll die from pressure changes. Water has a lot of ways to frick you up, even though it's one of the most necessary molecules of life. Certain species of caterpillars that look like soft little fluff balls but have poisonous spines that sting and release toxins into you if you touch them. They can cause severe pain, nausea, rashes, blisters, headaches, burning, swelling, and all that other fun stuff. Usually it's kids who pick up the caterpillars and get stung. Driving without a seatbelt. I know a lot of people that didn't care and figured it was no big deal. If you watch a video of someone in a wreck with no seatbelt, they go flying. Put your seatbelt on. These do-it-yourself pyrotechnic gender reveal parties. My gosh, how many raging forest fires do you need to start in order to let your cousins know you're having a damned boy? Apparently all of them. Cotton swabs. I know it feels good when cleaning them, but be careful of pushing earwax to your eardrum. That's a ticket to an ENT, ear, nose, and throat doctor right there. Also, don't hold in sneezes. It's not healthy and can be dangerous. Going unreasonably fast on the highway. There's no way you can foresee what is on the road in your path in time to stop or avoid it. Running over something small can result in your car flipping and rolling many times. Holding in a sneeze. Doesn't seem dangerous, but it can cause a ruptured brain aneurysm, ruptured throat, and a collapsed lung. And sneezing. I've hurt my back and butthole from sneezing so hard, LMAO. Legos. But out of the joke, don't give a 2-year-old a Lego. Choking is not fun, and some people appear to be allergic to plastic. Sago palms for dogs. They're everywhere, but they are toxic if ingested by dogs. My puppy died at 1 year old after chewing on our neighbors. Professional wrestling rings. Many people think they have a lot of extra protecting and padding in there, and some even think it's like a trampoline. In actuality it hurts like a bee to land on them. Mostly made of wood and usually there is padding, but that's it. Don't try this at home, kids. Yeah, rope burn is a bee. My friend used to have ring in his backyard. Breath holding contests. Especially if you hyperventilate, take big breaths beforehand. See, the thing is, your body only thinks it needs to breathe when there's a bunch of CO2 in your lungs, not when the oxygen in your blood is low. When you do a breathing exercise, you reduce the base CO2 in your lungs, but don't bring in more oxygen on your big inhale. This means you can run out of O2 before your body ever thinks it needs to breathe and pass out. Source: am lifeguard. This is why we don't like it when you go under for a while. Manholes. If you are careless, you can die in seconds from gas poisoning. If there's something wrong with the pipes, don't go down a manhole yourself and expect to fix it or even to just inspect. Call a specialist. Having a baby. I remember being in labor for hours. I all of a sudden felt good. No pain. Warm. I heard someone discussing my heart rate and giving me something. Brought me right back to work. No one ever said a thing to me about it. Everything turned out fine. That was 22 years ago. My aunt hemorrhaged when she gave birth. The placenta was stuck to her uterus, and when they pulled it out, blood gushed. She didn't feel it due to the epidural, but she said she was so weak she couldn't even lift her arms to hold her baby. Thankfully she was in a hospital or she would have bled out. Why I'll never give birth at home. Diving off the diving board in swimming pools can be super hazardous unless the pool is one that has been designed for swimming and diving competition, i.e. club or school pools. ESP for people over 6 feet 2 inches. Reason is that the Red Cross minutes distance rec from the end of the board to what is called, I believe, the incline plane, where the bottom of the pool slopes up into the shallow end, is something like 12 to 16 feet. Most municipalities, however, due to lobbying from pool construction firms to keep pools more affordable, have regs that allow 8-10 featuring from the end of the board to the incline plane. And another danger are the pools that were already built without diving boards and were approved with the idea that everyone would be diving off the edge of the deep end. Well, when a diving board is put on at some PT, it's rarely done with a permit SS that would force reconfiguration of the bottom of the pool. Someone 6 feet 4 inches or taller getting a running start and diving at a mid angle, well, you get the picture. Always better to do the racer's dive out over the water with your momentum taking you out over the surface and dissipating a great deal when you land. Another diving hazard is in lakes, rivers, and oceans where one has been used to diving in the past and shifting currents, storms. Man-made projects have caused the old diving PT to become considerably more shallow and hazardous, and it's rarely visible to the human eye. Allowing children to do backflips or forward flips. Every time I see it I cringe in anticipation of their body weight crushing their neck. Ugh. Babies and magnets. If they swallow even small ones they can end up tearing their intestines if they are pulled together. It's actually really dangerous. Stepping out of the shower or bathtub. Most floors are or can get slick, and most bathrooms are full of very hard surfaces, distressingly many of which have sharp corners. Grab rails really ought to be mandatory. If you don't have one installed, strongly consider it. Skating whilst holding hands, or in a conga line, or really any form of close proximity, with the exception of synchronized, and dance skaters, who know what they are doing. You should never hold on to someone whilst ice skating. You don't save them, and they will bring you down. Plus, a fall with 2 people is far worse than with 1 person. In America, guns. Not mass shootings, but lack of common sense. My heart still breaks when gun owners can't remember the first rule of approaching a firearm. Yet, people who walk around with their fingers on the trigger should automatically get their guns taken away. Bleach. Mixing it with other cleaning products or fruits that contain acids such as lemons or oranges can produce deadly chlorine gas. Bleach should only be mixed with water. A boomerang. When it comes back, watch out if you don't know how to catch it. Yo-Yos. Ever took one to the face or head? Sherlock intensifies. Slicing a bagel, apparently. So many people injure themselves that way. Probably in part because it's such a mundane, routine thing to do. You let your guard down about the insane serrated knife you're wielding. Social media. Actively collecting that kind of data on that many people and someone will eventually get hold of it and use it for something nasty. Even with the best intentions it's still not a good idea. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.